Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila. In this video I will be talking about how it was to travel during the pandemic. So if you watched my previous video, which I will link up here, you will know that I spent the weekend in Riga, Latvia from Thursday to Sunday. So in this video I want to talk about how it was at the airport and at the destination itself. So before flying, the airline that we flew with, which is Finnair, a Finnish airline, messaged us and required us to wear masks during the whole flight. At Helsinki airport, the masks weren't required, but they were recommended, and a lot of people did wear masks, so that's what we also did. However, at the airport in Riga, it was required to wear masks even at the airport, not only at the flight but also in the terminal. So there were guards outside the terminal checking that you had a flight booked and that you were wearing masks before entering the terminal. The airports were really empty. There were not a lot of people at all there, both in Helsinki and in Riga, and it was so weird because usually there are a lot more people at Helsinki airport when I have flew from there, so it was just strange to see that how empty the airport was. And also at the airports both in Helsinki and in Riga, almost all restaurants were closed and not a lot of shops were open either. So when we arrived at Helsinki airport at 6 p.m. on Thursday, there were not a lot of restaurants open, so we just had to choose from a hot dog shop and a sandwich shop, which was fine, but you know, usually there's a lot more variety of what you can choose from at the airport. And it wasn't even that late, so that was a bit strange. And also, both at the airport in Helsinki and in Riga, there were only one security check line open, so I don't know if this is how it is all the time, but at the time when we left in the quite early morning on Sunday from Riga, and when we left to Riga from Helsinki at like 6 p.m. there was only one line open at the security check. And of course there was a lot of reminders everywhere to keep a safe distance from other travelers and to keep your mask on all the time, which was recommended in Helsinki airport but required at Riga airport. And also just to keep a good hygiene and not to cough right in your hands but to cough in your elbow instead. At the airports there were just less people, it was quite empty and a lot of places were closed. So in a nutshell, at the airports there were just less people and less services available. So how was it at the destination then? Well, we traveled to Riga, Latvia, and I could imagine that during normal times there would be a lot more tourists, a lot more people in general outside, and in the old town of Riga there weren't that many people. And we also did a free walking tour in Riga on Friday. It was a bit rainy, but still we were only us four who traveled together and nobody else showed up. So we actually just had a private walking tour because nobody else showed up. So I live in Europe, Finland to be specific, but the situation is quite different depending on which country in Europe you're visiting. So for example, right now in Finland the bars and restaurants can be open as usual, but in Riga, Latvia, the bars and restaurants were only allowed to be open until 12 a.m. So that's something to keep in mind if you're traveling right now, just to check what the situation is in the place that you're traveling to. And it was also quite common to only allow 4 people at one table at a time in a lot of restaurants. I could easily imagine that since it's summertime, a lot of people are on summer holiday and summer vacation and all that, that there would be a lot more people in Riga and at the airports if it would be like a normal time. But right now it was just less people than I could have imagined and less travelers at the airports, and it was just less people and less services available. Even though the pandemic is still ongoing, I had a very fun trip and I will hopefully be traveling more during this summer, and I just want to remind you all to stay safe and keep a good hygiene and wash your hands and all that stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe got something out of it. And if you're traveling right now, just remember to check all the requirements and recommendations about the destination that you're traveling to and how it is to travel there. That was all for me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell and like this video if you enjoyed it. So I will see you in my next video. Bye!